Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Rhonda Cobb, the Money Coach, and I know that you are going to love this show because when you find out the answers to these questions, you're going to be blown away. How many times, as a small business owner, have you wished for a list of potential clients, but you simply don't have time to go out and research and research and research? You're going to love our guests. We got a solution for you. First up, we have Linda Fayerweather, and she is the business specialist librarian at the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library. And she comes to us with a BS in library science and an MBA in accounting. So I think she understands wherefore we're coming from. And also joining us is David Topoleski, who is the manager of the economic success team at the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library. So when we bring you small business solutions, man, we bring them, don't we? Welcome, David and Linda. How are you today?
Well, I am great, and I'm happy to be here to talk to people about the amazing things we can do.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Having a great day. Excited to be with you.
Thank you. A couple months ago, we had that special group meeting, Linda, that you gave us such a great presentation of how to do this. And I was just bowled over by the number of resources that are available to library card holders for free. And I have since used those resources. I went to one of the branches, got my little card, and I practiced what you taught us, and it worked great. I was like, okay, not as good as Linda made it work, but it did work. So let's tell people about the kinds of things that the economic success team brings them.
Well, since you mentioned looking for prospects and things that I demoed at, and that was at one of our branches, which was at Waterville, and Have Librarian Will Travel. I can be anywhere to help people look at these things. We used two of our databases. We used Reference USA and Mergent Intellect, and what we did is both of those work on a system of you identify what you're looking for. So if you're looking for all the businesses in Lucas County that, let's say you want to look at all the pizza shops because you have a new software that will make their drivers happy. Okay, we could identify a list of all the pizza shops in Lucas County, but then you might say, well, we only want to go to ones that have 10 or more employees. We could do that too. And then what's great is once you get your list, you can download it to Excel. You can call them. You can send them a postcard. You can show up on their doorstep if you want. But that's all available free with your library card. And then we have Mergent Intellect, which operates very similar, and you also get to it from the library. And that one has a lot of research in it, but the thing people are really excited about is you could build a list of, say, you were selling dog license or something for dogs. You could go into this database and say, I want to make a list of all the people in Lucas County that have a dog, that are men, that have an SUV, and you could create a list and do your mailing about your new product that will keep their SUV clean when the dog's in it. So those are just two of the databases that I'm always promoting, and I'm always available to give people either a lesson on the phone or if they want to come in and see me, I can sit down with them and show them how to use these to make their business grow.
And that is so important because if you're not utilizing all of your resources, then your business might not be growing as well or as fast as you want it to. Now, when they decide they want to come and see you, I'm thinking maybe they should call ahead and make an appointment so they know which branch you're going to be at.
Absolutely. And you know what? We work with all variety of people. So I did work with a gentleman recently who his transportation mode was either the bus or a bicycle. And he didn't want to make 2 bus transfers to get here, so I met him at a branch that was closer, that was just 1 bus ride. So we're available to do that. And what's really exciting is we will be back downtown at Main at the end of September with our new offices and new resources for businesses. But right now we're hubbing out of Heather Downs. And some of the other things that, along with our databases, for example, tonight at 7 o'clock, I have intellectual property attorneys that will be coming here to Heather Downs at no charge. They don't charge us anything either. But they'll meet with people who want to talk about patent and trademark issues. I mean, maybe they think they have a patent. And we have somebody that comes once a month, the first Thursday of the month, to talk with prospective entrepreneurs about their intellectual property. So that's another service that we have here.
Oh, well, that's just awesome. So how do people that might want to, provide entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs, how do they hook up with you guys to be a member of the team? Is that possible?
It's super easy. Like Linda said, we're out of the Heather Downs branch library at this time. We're willing to come to where they would prefer or to one of our other library branches if it's more convenient. But Heather Downs is at 3265 Glanzman Road in South Toledo, near the intersection of Heather Downs and Byrne. And Linda can be contacted directly at 419-259-5244 and set up a one-on-one appointment. I just want to say it's been a really exciting time after we left Main Library. The library did not know that it would have to close for its renovation, but both for time and cost efficiency, it was recommended that we do so. The reason I bring this up is Linda had served in 2017 about 75 people in one-on-one appointments that lasted at least 45 minutes. Between September of 2018 and the end of the year, she served over 100 people in the same capacity. So her ability to say yes is a lot more frequent because we're not tethered to a reference desk at Main Library that had 20,000 questions in 2017. So it's a very busy operation when you have a business that's open 70 hours a week, and the Main Library is open 12 hours a day, 4 days a week, 8.5-hour days, Friday, Saturday, and then 5 hours traditionally on Sundays. So there's a lot going on in addition to the business services and the nonprofit grant services that we offer. And now this economic success team has been untethered in a way that we can be very available, and we have the capacity to say yes more often.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so awesome. But any way you look at it, it's such a great resource. And when you see one of those lists, let's delve into that a little bit of detail because I'm not sure people can envision. Remember we're on the radio. So paint a visual picture for people and tell them, because you just did a list for me that was absolutely phenomenal and you emailed it and I appreciated that so much. It's so cool. And when I saw that list, I was like, oh my gosh, look at the amount of detailed information that you get. And if you were going to buy that same list that I got for free from the library, you'd be looking at almost $1,000 just for the list.
That's right.
Yeah, because the resources are not free, except at the library. So tell us about, paint the picture of what's in the list.
Well, the fact you mentioned when I was self-employed, before I came to the library, if I were to purchase a mailing list, it was usually considered $1 a name, and that would be a very generic mailing list. So what you had asked for, and I'll use that as a great example, you'd asked for Lucas County, or I think it was Northwest Ohio, women-owned businesses, and you didn't care what size.
Right.
So what I was able to do was, using the parameters of the title, which was owner, and the gender, which was female, and then I picked Northwest Ohio, which is the metro area of Toledo, which includes a little bit of Michigan, all the way to Indiana, and down past Findlay. And when I used those parameters, I think we got over 1,400 names. And when you clicked on either of those names, and what I downloaded for you was all the detail, you would get not only who that name was, but you would get you would also get about their company. If they had a website, you would have a hot link to the website. It would tell you if they were on Twitter, if they were on LinkedIn, or if they were on Facebook. but it would also show other people in the company if there was, more than just the owner. And besides that, it would tell you the type of business. And since you download this into an Excel spreadsheet, you could sort it. And what's always fascinating to me when you sort on women-owned businesses, the top 3 industries that women-owned businesses will be, and it varies where you're located, will be hair salons, restaurants, and child care. So you could even say, make a database that didn't have those in and see what the other industries that women are starting businesses in. And what's always fascinating to me when I did that report for you, because I started looking at it, and it turned out there was a business in Sylvania, Ohio, that had over $10 million in sales, owned by a woman. And so then I had to delve into it to find out what it was. And it turned out that this business sells candles online. And she's making $10 million in gross revenue selling candles online. So it just goes to show you don't know who your neighbors are.
I know. I looked at the list too. I looked at it the other day because, of course, we want to use the list to invite women to join NABO, the National Alliance of Women's Business Owners. So that's our end game on the list. So anybody listening, if you're like, oh my God, why is the Money Coach targeting women business owners? The Money Coach is not. NABO is, because that's what NABO does.
Yeah.
They educate and collaborate with women business owners. So we want to invite them to the meeting is the reason we needed the list. But I know it's just fascinating. It was just fascinating to me. You got the name and address and the name of the company. You even got the industry code, if that meant anything to you. The number of employees, that might mean something to you, if depending on what you were doing or if you were offering a service. Right. It's an incredibly valuable list depending on what you wanted to do.
Right. And it's interesting because it also, government contracts, it will list companies that are doing government contracts. What fascinated me is occasionally there is detail when you download all the detail. There's detail that you can't even select for. So here's an example. I had a woman that wanted to find information for herself about counselors. And she did not want them in her own city. So we sorted the data on counselors. Oh, she also wanted the counselor to be a female. So we sorted the data by female counselor, and then we said omit her zip code, and we still got a list of about 25. But what was fascinating, she also said she wanted them to be a PhD. Well, that's not something I could select for, but when I looked at the data with her, that was a field that was identified. So out of the 25, I think there were 10 that had their professional designation in. So she went away a happy camper.
That is so cool.
The Reference USA database specifically, but a number of the business databases can be used personally and professionally in so many ways that can help someone, whether you were looking to identify sources of supply or some service that you needed personally or professionally, to people. So, we're in the era of a lot of things online, but like we like to say sometimes, Google's great, but it's like the fast food of the web, quick, but not always good for you. And the problem with that is there's a lot of free information until you click that third click. And just when you wanted to get that value-added information, they're asking for your credit card. When you have your library card, which is your most powerful card in your wallet, you can go right onto our research page, click in, and access all those resources for free, and you're never going to hit that paywall. You're always going to be able to access our resources for free. And that could be professional development resources, it could be language resources, it could be business resources, even using the proprietary foundation directory online to help find grants for your nonprofit or